Today on the Hospitality Break Room, Vanessa Cella from Fora Travel explains what travel planners actually need from vacation rental partners. Welcome to the Hospitality Break Room, the podcast where we talk about the real conversation shaping the vacation rental industry. This season, we're diving into a topic that's becoming more important than ever: the relationship between vacation rentals and travel planners. For years, hotels have built strong partnerships with travel advisors and planners, while many vacation rental operators have struggled to understand how to work within that ecosystem. But that's changing. Today's travelers are looking for more personalized experiences, more space, and more curated stays. Travel planners are increasingly helping clients discover professionally managed vacation rentals as part of that experience. Throughout this season, we'll talk with travel planners, industry leaders, and hospitality professionals to better understand how these partnerships work, where the opportunities are, and what our industry can do to build stronger relationships with the advisor community. Whether you're a property manager, host, hospitality brand, or travel advisor, this season is designed to help bridge the gap between vacation rentals and the world of travel planning. Thanks for joining us in the break room. Let's get into today's episode. Hi, and welcome back to the Hospitality Break Room. Today's episode is really special because I have Vanessa Cella here. She's actually a personal friend, and her kids are friends with my kids. They were at my house, one of them yesterday, and she actually did planning for a trip that my family did. We went last summer to Italy and Paris, and I would have been completely messed up on that planning. Rob, my husband, wanted to try and get into it, but I didn't let him because Vanessa stepped up, and it was flawless. So Vanessa's here because she works with Fora Travel, which I know we've been talking. We said this season we're going to be talking about working with travel planners, and you know how in vacation rental industry, it's not something that's been like widely accessible. The distribution to the travel planners hasn't been set up very well so far. And so I wanted to get travel planners on the show this season so we could talk about from both sides, right? Like from our side as a vacation rental company, how it works when we try to work with travel planners, and also from the travel planner side, because I'm aware that, you know, it's not very easy the way that travel planners have access to vacation rentals. And so I wanted to understand it from both sides. So Vanessa's here. She is a top 100. Is that right? With Fora.
It is. It could be an accident. I was very surprised when it happened.
This is amazing. And I'm going to have Vanessa give you some background on herself. But Vanessa's a top 100 travel planner with Fora Travel. And I think like maybe people don't understand what that means. Do you know how many travel planners there are ish with Fora?
When I signed on, there was 22,000.
Okay, so that's insane.
And it's growing. But I'm telling you, it happened. It was hard work. It was a lot of time. And
she's very
I'm becoming more
right
intentional
now
about it. I showered for you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and Vanessa looks gorgeous. So if you're not looking at the video, you probably should, because she has a really good outfit on and she's just beautiful anyway. But okay, I want you to hear a little background on Vanessa. So like I said, she's working with Fora Travel, but do you want to give them like maybe just a little how you got into doing Fora Travel and like how many years it's been or whatever? Something like that.
Absolutely. Travel has always been just a huge passion of mine since my first trip leaving the country when I was 19.
Nice.
I went on a humanitarian project.
Where?
To Latvia.
Oh, I didn't know this.
I know, nobody knows this.
I feel like you could
Which is a weird.
You could be
actually,
Latvian, maybe. You kind of look like you could be Latvian.
Nice. I take that as a huge compliment. I guess it was my second time leaving the country. The first was when our parents let us go to Mexico at 17.
Okay, I did that too.
But that didn't really install like the love of travel.
Different.
Yes, the unknown.
Yeah.
So I've always loved it. I've always loved booking my own travel. I've always had friends come to me for ideas for like obscure, something a little different than the normal, because I kind of like to do.
Yeah.
I like to
do. It's like a personality type.
Yeah.
Like you either have the desire to like search that out or you don't. And I've never had it, but okay.
And most couples will have one person's it and one person's not.
Yeah.
And my husband will say like, when will it be enough? And the answer is
never.
I said, when will going to hippie concerts be enough?
Right? Oh my gosh. Vanessa's husband and my husband attend the same hippie concerts. If you don't know, I've talked about this like probably previously. My husband, Rob, he loves Widespread Panic. And he went to like, when he was younger, he went to like, I don't know, 200 shows or something. And if you met him, you wouldn't think that because he looks really preppy, but he's actually a secret undercover weird hippie. And Vanessa's husband,
is also,
Samesies.
yep, they are. We have very similar families,
I know,
actually.
it's weird.
It is weird. We love it. I cherish.
Didn't your husband just take your son to a concert over the weekend? Because
They
your daughter
did.
told me. Yeah.
They went to the Sphere in
Nice.
Vegas.
What did they see?
Fish.
Perfect. They saw fish. See, Rob doesn't love fish, but I actually kind of like fish.
I like widespread more than fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
I don't understand it.
I
I'm sorry.
sometimes just have to give him his
Okay.
his thing.
Don't you feel like Widespread Panic is one long song?
Yeah, but so is fish.
Okay,
It can be
okay.
like when my kids argue in the car, like
Yeah.
picking a song.
It's like,
My
why?
daughter will say, "No, that song's like 11 minutes long," and it is. And her songs are like 3 minutes. So,
See, you're learning a lot.
yeah.
If you're watching this episode, you're not only going to learn about vacation rentals and travel planners and how this could work together or how it's not working and how we could fix it. You're also going to learn about white people hippie music
Oh my gosh.
and 11-minute songs.
The ins
Okay.
and outs of our- Okay, yeah, back on track. Sorry if we get off track. This is going to be my problem. So anyhow, I had a lull and my kids were getting older and I had been working for my husband's company and I apparently don't like having free time. So
Same.
several people had recommended this to me. And in my brain, that meant I had to be like an influencer. So I follow and know many travel advisors who are wonderful at what they do, which
Mhm.
is not my wheelhouse, where they can speak on Instagram and they have.
That's like a whole unique like skill set that's
Yes.
separate, right? Yeah.
But in my head, that's what that was.
Okay,
So
okay.
I always thought like I am too old and not equipped to be a travel advisor. Well, I signed up and in my brain it was going to be like small scale. I would do a little bit for my family, some friends, and naturally I fell in love with it and it became a thing and here I am. That was what year was that? 2024
Okay, it's not that
June.
long.
So
Yeah.
2 years this June.
Oh my gosh. And top 100 in less than 2 years. Like, I feel like I need some data on that. I wonder if how many other top 100s they have in that short amount of time. That has got to be like a record.
Well, I think it just depends on what you're selling. A lot of people they specialize in different things, right?
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause
yeah. Same with us. Yeah.
Cruises and like there's
Yeah.
certain things where the dollar amount's crazy. And I could definitely probably be smarter about how I go about it and scale back. But it's been 2 years of just like
Balls to
rocket
the wall.
launch.
Yeah.
And even if I can't take more, I'm like, yes, I can take more.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah, I know. That's how.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
say no. You
Right.
gotta take what's hot.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. I signed in. I was gonna do it as a little side hustle, fun something. I planned my family's trip right when I joined. We went to Paris, San Sebastian, Biarritz, Rioja, and then I came back and started planning other people's travel when I was ready to take the plunge. So
Yeah. No, and I know from working with Vanessa, like she and Helen's here in the room as always. And Helen was part of all those conversations. And working with Vanessa was like, I mean, an absolute game changer for the trip that we had and what it would have been without her. So I knew from that moment the value of what you do. And I had worked with travel planners, in having this company for all these years. We have had travel planners. And I said this in the last episode, like we have worked with people that call themselves private concierge, where they're doing what Fora does, but they have like clients that pay them an annual amount. They only have like maybe 50 clients for the agency. They have like 3 planners, like Fisher Travel, M Level. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting my other favorite one. I'll think of it later. Okay, but so there's some of these like really high-end private travel planner companies that we've worked with, but Fora just kind of like came up and all of a sudden I was seeing so much more of it on social media and we were getting contacted by more and more Fora travel planners. And to me, I've known since that was happening that I wanted to find a way to work with them because I always felt like it was really hard for them to book a house with us because they're usually going through a third party. And it was really hard when there was a guest issue for the communication to happen. And so then I realized more recently, like, I know Vanessa, we should talk about this. And so we've been wanting to talk about this offline, but I also was like, hey, I'm going to make my season of the podcast about this topic. So why don't you just come and jump on? So she's here and I'm super grateful. Okay. So do you feel like you explained your background enough?
yeah, it's not in depth. It's happened. It's natural.
Well, you're clearly a natural because you just started and it's like.
Well, I love it. But it's also people I work with. So people I personally know. So
Yeah.
for me, I take that to heart.
Right.
And I take my vacations very seriously versus, if I was just throwing spaghetti at a wall and I like to book stuff. I book stuff I have experience doing.
Yeah.
I will go outside the box. That's the beauty of Fora versus there's a lot of beautiful high-end boutique agencies, but the tech with Fora is outstanding.
Mhm.
And that is what does it for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I don't know, I know 1,000 people I can reach out to and say, hey, I know you're a specialist on this. I can't be a specialist on
Yeah.
everything, but the support is so good that they really empower you to be a specialist in anything,
Yeah.
and you can take on any trip if it's your interest. If obviously, if there's something you can't do or you don't wanna do it, you don't have to, but for the most part, they make you a pro because they give you so much good technology to work
Yes.
with.
Well, and I feel like, we're lucky. Like Vanessa, I think this is true, right? She books mostly luxury travel, like higher price point, like $1,000 a night base up to whatever price point type travel. And that's, the type of reservations that we book at Abode, like the homes that we manage, the base level is around $1,000 on average up to like 10,000. So when you're working with that, you tend to be able to have access to some better tech and some better
Mhm.
tools because you're working with a higher price point, which means you have a little more margin, that you can work with. And so I think I've heard of Fora Travel like right off the bat. And when I talk to other people in the vacation rental industry, and if people are listening from the vacation rental industry and they're maybe not in a luxury market, or maybe they deal with product with inventory that's not as luxury, a lot of people that I've talked to hadn't necessarily heard of Fora, which I thought was really interesting. And I felt lucky because I do luxury, like that was the one that I had run into right off the bat. But I think it's a really good example to use to talk about because, like you said, if Fora has like the great tech, then this is like, a higher place in the business of travel planning to start from to like use as a point of reference to talk about. And so if what Fora is doing to me is probably like on the upper echelon of like the best stuff that's out there in terms of tech and availability of distribution. And so if Fora doesn't have it, probably most other operations aren't going to have it. And so we, using that as an example is probably at least a good way to talk generally about what's going on.
Exactly.
Okay. So I have some questions I wrote down to go over, but like really the things that we wanted to talk about uncovering are sort of the reality of booking vacation rentals for a travel planner, the pain points or the friction that can come up from the travel planner's point of view. Because last episode we had Tilly from our reservation sales team here at Abode, and she's been doing this for like 12 years. And so she was talking about the pain points or the areas of friction that she experiences on the vacation rental side working with travel planners. And so I wanted to
Interesting.
be able to,
Yeah.
talk about it from the other side. And then like we want to talk about what would better look like, like if
Mhm.
we could dream up like how this could look, what would that look like? And I, hopefully with these 10 episodes in the season, we're gonna be able to talk in a bunch of different conversations with some different people about what everyone thinks about that. Cause my gut on this, and I just keep saying it, but it's like this used to be like the way that this went for vacation rentals being booked through a travel planner, like it's gone in a certain way in the past and it's not been ideal. And so to me, it's like there has to be a better path forward. There just is,
Yes.
right? And we haven't pushed for it. And travel planners were kind of, not as popular for a while, but now it's a huge percentage of travel, and especially in luxury,
Mhm.
it's growing and growing. And I don't have the number in front of me, but I was just at a conference in London last week, and they were talking about it, and the numbers were so high and I can't remember. I'm sorry because I can never remember any numbers. So don't try to like
Mom
tell
brain for
me,
life.
yeah, don't tell me your birthday because this is legit. I don't know my mom's birthday or my dad's. I don't. No,
Rachel.
I can't
I don't know my
remember.
husband's phone number.
Okay,
Shh, I
perfect.
said it. He gets mad at me every
See, I know Rob's phone number. What? That's so weird of me.
I
Okay,
know.
but anyway, I don't retain numerical information, so I can't remember the numbers they said. But the percentage of bookings is high and it's growing. And so, obviously, if something's not working, the way that my brain is like I'm going to ponder on it and like either manifest it or make a change myself. Like, and it's something's going to happen. It has to happen. Like shit can't just stay fucked up forever. And so I hope that we can have conversations. And I don't know, like we're probably not going to solve it in this little break room at the Abode offices because I usually say this in the beginning, but we are literally sitting. If we pan to the camera, which we can't because it's like across the room and I can't reach it. But if I did, you would see that Helen's sitting at the kitchen counter and there's a microwave above her head, and to the left of her is a Keurig and a refrigerator. This is actually our break room. And so we're probably not going to solve this whole problem sitting in the
But we
break room.
could. If you know Rachel, she's gonna
But
solve it
we got to
eventually.
start somewhere. So
My money is on you, girl. I think
okay,
you're gonna do
so
it.
we got to
Okay.
like start with something.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we talked about how Vanessa got into travel planning. And okay, what do you love most about planning trips for families?
Oh, honestly, I think traveling with your family is one of the best memories made. You're planting the seed of adventure. You're empowering your kids to see different things.
Yeah.
That is a huge passion for me.
Mhm.
And to give that to someone else feels like a gift to me.
I totally agree.
It's special. You know that we're home, we're working, we're grinding. Our kids have sports, they have their friends. We're going a million directions. When you're traveling, you're
You're
forced,
connected.
but also it's a beautiful connection. I mean, we recently went to the Olympics in Italy, and I asked my daughter her favorites, like, what she was
Wait, can
most
I
excited
say
about.
who, okay, well, I'll say it after this. First, go
No,
ahead.
no.
Okay,
She
sorry,
was most
sidetracked.
excited
Okay.
about spending time with her brother because he's
She did
normally
not she
distracted.
said
She said,
that?
"I'm so excited to hang out with Jackson in Italy."
I don't think my daughter has ever said that about her brothers.
Because they're, like, forced, and there's
I
2, right?
love
So your
it.
kids can kinda go different directions.
Mhm.
They're like you or me, and that's it.
Yeah, I love that.
So
Her daughter's
that's
name is Olivia. She's the cutest. Yes.
well, our girls are both adorable. I told them yesterday they looked similar. I'm like,
Vanessa took our daughters to Ulta yesterday, and they did
"This is my
damage.
first time in
Yeah,
Ulta," and
serious
wow,
damage.
people, if you haven't been, get ready.
Insane.
So I'm gonna say that's my favorite. It's
Okay,
not the logistics.
okay.
Realistically, logistics of family is very hard
Yeah, no, it's
because you get a couple,
Mhm.
easy. In Europe, a king, they can still usually do
Oh,
a
yeah.
queen. You're going 4 or 5 people, and I'm talking 5 people. I mean, I don't deal with a lot of people that have more than 3 kids.
Yeah.
The logistics are hard. So I love what people experience out of it, but
Mhm.
it's logistically difficult, which is why vacation homes can also be a really great
Yeah.
option.
Yeah, no, Vanessa helped us, and we didn't book in homes, we booked in hotels, but she helped us get rooms because we had 6 people, because I have 3 kids and an au pair, and so, like, 3 adults, 3 kids, which I didn't even realize in the beginning when I was talking to her. I was like, "Well, I think we need, like, 3 rooms, maybe 2, if, like, one of the rooms could have, like, 2 bedrooms or, like, one of those bigger suites or whatever," and she was just looking at me like I was insane, like, in Europe, you can't just, like, come
But
up
it's a
with
good
these room
challenge. I always tell
configurations.
myself
You
it's the
nailed it.
learning
It
curve
was insane. It
and
was
some
so
weird
awesome.
rooms, you
Vanessa
definitely
got
end
us
up with
the
some wonky,
most
weird stuff, though.
oh, so good. It was so good, and I could have
So
never done that. So I totally, obviously, I feel that how this can work well, and you're right, and what's crazy is, like, you just said that it's kind of the connection, right? The experience that
mhm.
creates the connection, and, I just wrote a book, it's coming out in October, and it's, like, literally, that's what the entire book is about, and I was just talking this morning doing, like, PR stuff, and it was all about just this concept of, like, what is good hospitality, right? Like, essentially, what's a good travel experience? Like, how do you train that, and how do you even quantify it? Because everyone says, like, hospitality, luxury, but, like, what does that even mean? And when you boil it down, it really, and this is what this book is about, but it's about connection. It's about, like,
I love
if
it.
you create situations where people can build connection within their own family or their group they're traveling with, and especially if you can create situations where you're building connection and that sense of belonging between, like, the team, like, say for me, my team here at Abode that takes care of the guests, and if my team can build a connection with the guests, like, this is when that guest leaves and says, "The best hospitality ever. That was so wonderful, so luxury." It's when there's a connection built and someone feels that sense of belonging. They feel like they have a person in Park City or Jackson or whatever, and that's when so it's so funny that, like, you boil it down to that, and so do I.
Well, and I think the world is taking a change back to the
Yeah,
personal touch, right?
1,000%.
Because AI, say what you want, it's amazing, there's so much, but what people love is, like, they could go to booking.com and, like, type it in, boom, 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 but they're getting me, who is in turn
Mhm.
knows you, is going to the I have a person on site. I'm
Right.
saying, "Listen, Rachel, don't look her in the eye. She hates eye contact. She only likes yellow flowers." I mean, it can be so specific,
Yeah.
and some people it's very specific, some it's less, but the personal touch all the way around for the people who are at the hotel or vacation rental, the people who they're dealing with, you're letting them have time to connect
Yeah.
because they're not dealing with the crap that's going wrong because
Right.
they're contacting you or me or someone else.
You have someone to help you. You don't feel alone. Like, it's not like this sterile online booking experience, and you're not just, like, out for yourself. It's not like you booked it and you're like, "Well," because,
I'm
mom
stuck.
books the trip, let's say, she's on there spending the money, and she's kinda like, "Well, I hope this is good."
But you're also stressed the whole time.
Right, and so then when, let's say you're going to Italy and you're going to multiple locations, then every time you go to the next location, if you were the one that booked it and you weren't sure of your, ability with that, every time you'd show up to the next place, you're gonna be like, "Oh, shit, I hope this is good." Whereas, like, when we booked with Fora, I was like, I had no concern, right? I knew it was, like, good and covered, and every time we'd go somewhere new, I was mostly just excited to see, like, what it was gonna be, and I think that's a huge shift for people when they're traveling because if you're doing it yourself and maybe you're not as sure about what you're doing, even if you like the challenge, you're still gonna have those anxious moments, like, before you show up somewhere where you're like, "Oh my god, did I pick the right place?" And so taking that out, making sure that you have that stability and that knowledge behind all these bookings, like, it takes away a whole layer of anxiety. And the other thing, and I always talk about this, but I feel like it's so important, especially when you're talking about luxury travel, it's like, if someone's booking a trip for, I don't know, $60,000, they're gonna spend a week somewhere and they're gonna spend 60 grand. Like, it's not the money, right? Like, they could get 60 grand back, like, in a day. or maybe an hour, maybe a week. But like this is money that someone who's spending like that could make back very quickly. They're not like saving their pennies in a bucket, to go on that
Yep.
$60,000 trip. And so for them, it's not that the money is the thing that they can't get back, right? It's the
The
time.
time.
It's like what you said, Vanessa, like the fact that, when someone's with their family, they're number one, they're dreaming in their head before the trip about this like amazing time they're going to spend with their family. That's going to have all of this meaning. And like, if the trip doesn't go well and they don't get that connection with their family, they cannot get the time back. The money they could get back like tenfold, right? But they cannot get that time. And so I think that that's like something that's really important. And I think that's probably part of the reason why travel planners are getting more and more popular again, is because, whatever K-shaped economy, luxury travel is what's growing. And those customers, it's all about the time and not the money. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Okay. I think it's cool. And I kind of figured that we would have like similar areas that, are like when you boil it down, what's important. But I love it when that actually
so much. No, I think like
happens.
I came in here with a work hiccup emergency, and I was
yeah.
like, nobody will understand this except for you guys.
Right.
It's
So
like
we do the same.
something you immediately, you're like, your stomach, you have a small heart attack. You can't be like, I'll just call you back in 4 hours. I have something going on. You have to drop everything. It's, we're not saving lives, but we are.
I say
doing
that
big
all the time.
things. I know.
Yeah. It feels like it's like we're not curing cancer, but like seriously, when you're in the moment of an issue with a guest or a homeowner for us, like it kind of feels like the level of urgency is just so high.
But that's also why you're good at it.
Well, yeah, but
because
it's also
you take it seriously.
it's because it's people's time.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question I had was, at what point did you start booking vacation rentals for clients? But then the next one under that is, what kinds of clients are typically asking for vacation rentals?
Yep.
I feel like that second one's better. I don't know. What do you think? Which one do you
Yeah,
want to
I
answer?
think, I mean, they're both great, but I think the type of person, it's a multitude.
Yeah.
It's everyone, really. I mean, you're going to get the ultimate luxury person who wants privacy. So it might be two people, but they're like, I don't want a shared pool. I want private chefs.
Yeah.
I want seclusion. That's one of your huge clients.
Totally.
Naturally, a family.
Yeah.
People want to do laundry. People want to do meals in the morning. They want to have that accessibility. It could be a girls' trip. I mean, really, it checks everyone's box.
Yeah.
And my family, even though I'm a travel planner, we love to do a half-half. Because guess what? I also don't want to like put my coffee cup in the sink on a vacation.
Right.
So I want a hotel.
Yeah.
But 10 days or 14 days of a hotel, sometimes it's nice to break it up. So then I love a house.
Yeah. And it sometimes could be like a different version of experiencing a place, like a little differently in a house.
We just need you guys to be worldwide. This is my biggest qualm.
Working on it.
I need to utilize you.
Working on it.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So I guess walk me through what it actually looks like when you're booking a vacation rental for a client, like from the travel planner side, when you're let's say you have a client who either you're recommending that they book a vacation rental versus a hotel room, or they've asked for that. Like, how does that look from your side? Because I think the majority of people that probably will listen to this, and I think there's like millions, if not zillions and trillions of people that listen to this podcast, but actually
shout out to all of our people, all the fans.
It might just be like my mom and your mom,
and
but
me now.
but I think mostly the people that find this podcast are, in hospitality, but probably specifically vacation rentals. And so for their understanding, I think this is really important, because I do talk to my reservation sales team about this a lot. When they get frustrated with how it works booking with a travel planner, I'm always like, okay, but think how it is from their side too, because the whole thing's just not easy, or as easy as it should be right now.
Great advice for everything in life. Right?
Yeah. But like, so when you're doing it, like, and you could even give me, if you've got friends who do like peers of yours, like experiences that you've heard about from them, or your experiences in booking vacation rentals, and just, like, I would say, I'm assuming there's differences in the technology that you have and how the listings work, and then how you can go about contacting a vacation rental company. And I don't know, can you walk us through like some of how that goes?
I mean, it's I'm going to say the biggest drawback is that it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
So every company is different.
Right.
So basically, you're going to live in our portal, and it will say either create an account or go to a booking portal or email this person. My wish list would be, and we do have a few who are launching these things, is if you could almost search like a hotel, and maybe I can't book on my end, but I can at least get a little. I feel bad wasting people's time. So if I have to come to you and say, I need 4 people, this many bedrooms, this is the budget. No one ever wants to talk about budget. I don't know if you deal with that on your end, but I'll say,
I feel like we like a budget.
I love a budget.
Oh,
I love a budget, but the client does not want to give you a budget,
same
which
for
makes it
us.
hard, because they'll say no
1000%.
budget, and then I'll give them something, and they'll say, oh no. Like
Yeah.
that's out of the
Oh
budget.
my gosh. If Tilly was
It's
in
like a
here with us,
funny,
she would.
funny thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm judging you. It's not. I
Right.
just need to know. Give the girl
Right.
an idea.
Same. All day long.
Um,
Yeah.
so oftentimes it is they want to know upfront dates, what you're looking for, how many people, location. It's all information.
Yeah.
Information is your power,
And
right?
they, you mean like if you're calling the vacation rental company?
Yes, and it's usually all
Okay.
done in email. My perfect so obviously it's gonna be hard to just book on my end, but if I could see what's available, if I could do a short search
Yeah.
before I pull you in,
Right.
I would be more apt to use home rentals more often.
So when you search, like in your, is it the Fora? Like,
Yeah, so I can click on whatever I'm booking. If it is it a hotel? Is it a plane? Is it a tour? Is it a home and villa?
and so for homes and villas, are there like certain companies that all their homes are listed? Like
No, mhm.
well, I'm pretty sure, is it like One Fine Stay has their
One Fine
inventory?
Stay, I wanna say that recently launched where they do have a loose inventory. It's not even gonna really give you pictures or details, but it will say, like, "These are 4 things that are available that search your criteria." Then you can email them and say,
Okay.
"I'm interested in X, Y, and Z."
Are
So
there
you
any
still need
companies
to
that have more than that from what you can see?
y uh, Plum Guide
Okay,
actually will
Plum
let
Guide.
you see
Yeah.
pictures,
Uh-huh.
prices. So I'm gonna say they have the most in-depth,
Okay. Like
of
distribution
information
somehow.
that you can
Yeah.
receive, but I
Okay.
also don't think it's gonna be as high end as
Yeah.
Abode, One Fine Stay with all the concierge. It's
Right.
more of a high level, and I hope I'm not saying this wrong, Airbnb or VRBO.
Well, like Plum Guide, I think has like a wide
And
variation of properties
yes, and
available. It's
different
not
prices.
luxury
It's not
specific.
luxury specific.
Yeah.
But I do feel so like my biggest fear, that was my hesitation of booking, and the reason I will not book an Airbnb or a VRBO is like you hear the stories of people showing up and there being
Right.
like no
Yeah.
nothing, right?
Right.
So I just tell people I don't touch that with a
Yeah.
10-foot
So you
pole.
only work through a professional
A
vacation
vetted
rental
something,
company. Okay.
100%,
Yeah.
because that's me. Like, my name is on
Right.
that, and if someone shows or if they want something cheap, then that's fine.
Right.
I'm
But
not your
do that
person,
on your own.
and do it
Yeah.
on your own, and I'm not backing it because and I've done it sometimes with hotels where I scale back to a level I don't wanna do it, and
Yeah.
it's never there's always something though,
Right.
right? They're like, "Oh, there's not this or that," and I'm like, "Well,
I agree.
I shouldn't have done that."
I mean,
I
that's
didn't
like,
book you there.
that's partly why for our company, we decided on a certain price point and above, like for our portfolio from the beginning, is because we wanted to be able to consistently provide good service. So we knew we just wanted to keep it very specific and like
Mhm.
niche. And I think that's really smart. Because I think Fora is like that overall.
Mhm.
At least the marketing that I see, and maybe it's because I see your stuff a lot, but I do see a lot on TikTok from different Fora people, and I always see luxury. So I think it
Yeah.
seems like it's their focus, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's something for everyone, I guess, which
Yeah.
is kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
People can book a lower value, but I think most people are booking a higher value, but that's who our partners are.
Yeah.
We're giving you the most value with if you're booking a Ritz, a Four Seasons, a Rosewood, a Naman,
Because Fora has like contracts
relationships.
worked out, right? Where, and
Mhm.
I've experienced this with bookings that Vanessa did through Fora, right? Where it's like, I took my daughter to the Taylor
Taylor
Swift
Swift, we're
concert,
talking about
right? And
that.
like where was that?
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto. And it was like a Park Hyatt. And I think you helped me with it. It was like just a couple
Yeah.
nights and it was super last minute, of course. I apologize. But
No, love it. I'm
but
here
like I
for it.
got there and my room was up. It was like the same price when I looked up the hotel. And then I was like, wait, I should see if Vanessa could, book this for me. And so when I looked up, it was like the same rate that I had found online. And Vanessa got me the exact same rate, but I ended up with a upgraded room and like a really nice arrival package of like all these custom treats for my daughter that were like Taylor Swift themed, and then like a bottle of wine for me. I mean, it was amazing. And a note from Vanessa, which I always had every time. That's something cool with Fora when you travel. And I don't know if this is just
Which is one of my
Vanessa.
favorite. No, I mean, I think everyone does
I
it.
mean, so there's always a note from Vanessa when you check in. Like that's insane. Like that we do stuff like that for our
Yeah.
guests, but like that's just such a big deal. Okay, but so going back to like the experience of a travel planner when looking at vacation rentals. So just to like recaps, because I think that this is really a huge point of misconception
Yep.
on both sides. Like I think that on from the travel planner and the vacation rental company, we do not get like how the other person is trying to make this work. And I think that's a huge part of the problem. So like from our side, right, we have all these listings we distribute onto our website, Airbnb, VRBO, booking.com, whatever, all these
Yep.
distribution channels, but we don't really have a way to distribute on to get in front of travel planners on their tech, which is through the GDS. Is that right? Or like, what's the name of the software that goes into the Fora software?
Don't ask me that.
So like
I'm
starts with an I. I feel like, okay, I can't remember. But anyway, so there's like the main travel planning software that aggregates all the hotel
and then it gives
stuff.
you your instructions, which
Yes.
is where we're gonna have you
Right.
there. Because but right now a lot of people are like you, where it's And I will say, so we have this forum, we have WhatsApp groups, all the things, and people do love Abode. Like I've said, this is a personal friend, and anytime I've said anything, people comment and are like, I used them for a luxury ski trip
Oh,
last
I love
year.
that.
They're amazing. I
I
mean,
worry.
I was screenshotting and sending you some of these. Like, I think
Yeah.
when people are talking good about you, you should hear it and you should see it.
Well, and I just
Um,
worry because I know we've had experiences where travel planners booked through us and it didn't go well, like something happened with the guest or whatever, and I felt like our issues were always, like, the lines of communication were messed up.
it's always a communication
Because
line.
it seems like okay, so just to clarify, the way that hotels are listed on the software that the Fora travel planners have, and I think it's probably similar with most travel planners with any of the companies, you have one way that you can see all the hotels. Then the way that you can see vacation rentals is, like, very limited and kind of patchy, right? So
It's
there's,
like
like
2003.
let's say you've got, like, Plum Guide available, but maybe the rest are just, like, kinda random ass onesie-twosie things. And so you're ending up having to go and search on your own for vacation rentals in that area and then go to that company and work through it for your guest. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's oftentimes it's me reaching out. So because they reach out to Rachel at Abode, give her this information, and she'll send the options back to
Yeah.
you. So it's a back and forth,
Yeah. So that's way more annoying than a hotel where you wouldn't have
which
that.
is yes, and people are usually very receptive and quick to respond, but
Not
sometimes
always,
my
sadly.
client doesn't respond, right? So and I email you and you get back to me and you say, Vanessa, I have these 6 great villas, blah, blah. And I send them to my client right
Mhm.
away. It's been 3 hours. And
2
lo and
days later.
behold,
Yeah.
4 days later, 1 week later, they're like, "We've decided we want this home."
Mhm.
Well, then I go back to Rachel, I tell her I want this home, it's no longer available, the
Yep.
rates changed. So it's just a back and forth,
Yeah.
and it's, based on availability, so
Right.
stuff is changing
So and, like, this is
a
where I
lot.
can see from the vacation rental side, I can understand why travel planners might not want they're not really incentivized to book with vacation rentals because it's more annoying. You don't have the information up front. You have to do more legwork on your own. Then you're gonna have all this back and forth, which could result because in a hotel where there's multiple room types with multiple rooms of that type, you have more opportunity where if
Mhm.
that, just that one room could book, but there's still other ones. With a home, that one home books, now you have to start over with your whole discussion. So, like, very annoying, right? And I feel like for me, it feels like it starts with if we were able to have a better way of distributing onto the tools that you use, like the tech, and
Mhm.
we would have a better, easier way for you to see what was available. And if there was a way for us all to contract with the travel planning companies, just like hotels do, to say, like, okay, when for a travel planner books with Abode, they're going to get whatever. They're going to get this on arrival. They're going to get this special gift basket, this note from the planner. They're going to get, I don't know, they're going to get like car service from the airport, one way comped, or like something included, just like with a hotel. And then it would also have the commission structure like set up in a contract. So then that way, is that maybe what Plum Guide has? Is that stuff like contracted
So, yes, but they don't do all the extra special
extras, but
perks,
they have
which
their
is the beauty of
percentage?
a luxury, right?
Yeah.
Which is the difference between you booking a small boutique hotel with me that might have a $20 drink certificate or so
Right.
a little something,
Yeah.
but the larger luxury, it's going to
Right.
be
Like you
a
said, with
dollar amount,
Ritz
a
and
transport. So say
yeah.
with you, that would be that
Right.
would be something that I think would be
And
great,
this
and
is like
some do
what
it, but not a
and
lot.
but like right now, I don't even know if we have the ability to do
Mhm,
that, like with the tools as they are. And so to me, it's like this is the kind of stuff I want to work out. It's like,
mhm.
how can we make it so that vacation rental companies have the opportunity to submit like what their upgrades that they would have on the table, what the commission that we could agree to on a contract basis, right? And so that way it's not a one-off discussion because I do think the commission discussion is like a really big part of the drama in travel planners booking with vacation rentals because essentially it's like a one-off every time. Like travel planners will come to us and I could be wrong, but it feels like every time we're starting over with like this one wants 10%, this one's 12, this one wants 15, this one wants 20, this one wants 8. Like whatever it is, there's like
Yes.
a percentage every time and a negotiation. Then it kind of comes down to like, okay, well, which house is it? Would this homeowner, be willing to split this commission with us? Can we increase the rate nightly that we ask the travel planner to charge their guests? And so some travel planners want rate parity with like
Yep.
whatever's listed. Some of them say, no, that's fine. You can upcharge the guest. But usually then if they're gonna allow us to to increase the rate, let's say they want 10%. So we would increase the rate by 10% so that the homeowner would end up getting the same amount they would always get. And that we would get what we would get with our cut, and that the travel planner would still get their 10%. But we're not, taking it off of the rate, like to the
Yep.
essentially because I was worried my homeowner will come back to me and freak out on me if I gave a discount. And so these things, like if they were negotiated in advance, could be accounted for and like handled. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But since they're not, then you kind of come into this one-off situation every time, which takes more time, probably lessens the likelihood of reservation booking because there's so much back and forth on our side, even figuring it out.
Yep.
And it's like if we could just set those standards of commission with a contract or something like that, from the beginning, just like the hotels do,
Yes.
then the travel
Cancellation
planners,
window,
yeah,
everything is
cancellation.
already
Yes.
because it's never clear.
Right.
And I'll have to tell someone like, "Oh, this one requires full payment up front. Oh, this is only a deposit.
And
Well,
you can
that's
cancel or
only."
you can't on
Yes.
that one.
Yes. I think consistency and communication
And just having it laid
are
out like the hotels do,
huge.
right? Like,
Exactly.
and I
Yeah.
think that to me, that's always felt like the main issue.
Mhm.
And I think it's just that because hotels have room types, and I think that's how most of the software works off of, and
Yep.
vacation rentals are like kind of like their own hotel for each one in terms of the listing, that's where the rub is, it seems like. And so we just need the way forward with the tech, which
Yeah.
sounds so dumb, but like I do get it. Like we're getting a new website right now. We're switching software and it's like,
It's hard to
yeah,
stay on top of it,
it
but
is.
also I think with the luxury, some people want to be involved in, identifying the property for you. So
Yes.
some people like to have that power to be like,
Yeah.
"Vanessa, what did your person da, da, da. Okay, I'm gonna handpick,
Yeah.
these 4 properties. I think they'd be a good fit."
Yeah. Okay, now have you ever had it where, because 'cause I'll have travel planners a lot where they'll say to us, they want us to take the description of the property from our website out and, like, email it in the body of an email, and then take the photos and email the photos separate because they don't want their guests to
To
go
go to
onto
your
our
website,
site.
yeah. So,
Because if
wh
there's not rate parity, I mean, I do understand why they want
yeah,
that.
you wanna be able to white label for
Right.
sure, and oftentimes and that's again, a tech thing, which I'm gonna show you
Yeah.
some to play around with.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never asked that of a person. I usually just skip it if it's that much work. I'm like, "Okay, I gotta move on
Yeah.
to." Or sharing a link is nice, but maybe you have to share the link without where it came from.
Mhm.
Um, I've actually shied away from upcharging people. Like, I hate that because I always tell people, like, the value is you're getting X, Y, and Z, although I should value myself more. Um, where I don't want to have to expect someone to pay more to use me. So that's tricky. So
Yeah.
and I think that's what's nice about the hotels is
Yeah. No, yeah.
I know I can look at them and I can say, "Look at you can see this rate on their website, exactly the same as my rate that I'm giving you, and I'm giving you breakfast and a credit and a
Right.
welcome gift and a transportation."
Well, and then
So
the
that's kind
difference
of the
is, like,
value.
so the hotel. Now usually the brand and the operator, I don't even know if everyone knows this, I love talking about this topic too, but it's like a whole other season.
Ugh,
But, like, hotels are owned not by the brand usually, and they're operated not by the brand. So, hotels are actually similar to vacation rentals in that hotels
a
are owned
management
by
company.
people. Hotels are owned by, like, organizations or people, all random ones,
Mhm.
and they're run by property management companies that are in the hotel industry. They're just like us, like, they manage a bunch of different hotels, and then they have this brand, like, this flag over it. But so the one difference would be that hotel is owned by, like, usually an investor, a company, whatever. So the mindset on it is not a one-off like on a house. I have like a
Mhm.
homeowner each time who, depending on the homeowner, and it's fairly common that a homeowner might be like, I don't want to eat the cost of, a 10% discount that you're giving to someone because that's essentially how they see it.
Yep.
So they want to get their full whatever they would get for that rate. And if I were to tell them, well, you got 10% less because we used a travel planner, they it's different than in a hotel. A hotel might
Sticky.
is more of a business
Yeah,
mindset,
and they have money to play
and
with.
well, and they understand, like, from an overarching concept, like, how working with a travel planner and paying the 10% commission can then, grow their
Benefit them from you
revenue.
sending more people there all the
Yes.
time.
Like,
Yeah.
overarching, you would have more revenue through the year, but it's harder to, explain that with a homeowner who may most of our homeowners are super wealthy, and so they're all in business of some sort, mostly, but maybe not lodging, and so they don't
Mhm.
necessarily get that concept, and so it's, like, as a one-off, but I do think, like, if I was able to work out, and contract with Fora or whoever that, okay, this is how much we're gonna pay commission, then when I signed homeowners, that would just become part of my discussion with them, right? Like, "Hey,
Yeah.
here's how we do this, and when we work with Fora, we have this split that we offer. So just so you know, when you work with Abode, we may be booking through Fora. Those reservations would have this commission paid out, but we would be part of the understanding in the beginning. Whereas, like, since we don't have the ability to set that contract with travel planners, then I don't have the ability to front load it with the homeowner. So
Yes.
it's like it kind of just like is domino effect.
Yep.
And again, to me, it's like this is not that hard though.
Yeah.
Like if we could just figure it out, we
Well,
could solve it
and
across
you
the board.
could say, "This is our commission, period." And if you wanna mark it up for your client on your end,
Right.
have at it. Because we do have the ability to add, fees onto things.
Okay.
So, realistically and I think there are a few that do that, so you could say your commission is 10%, and, you present it to the homeowner as, "If you want to rent this more because it's gonna go to 20, 2,000
Right.
more people on their radar. Are you willing to shave off this cost? And then on the other side, if the advisor would like to add on a 2% to
Right.
make it
So you could make
12%.
some of it back. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think there's
Totally.
a few ways to get flexible, like to be flexible with it, but I do think
Yeah.
it's important to have the unity of like a set, not
Right.
someone coming back and forth
Well,
going,
because
I want
then
2%, I want 20%.
we can make this something that we explain to homeowners like from the get-go.
Mhm.
So then it's like that way to me, again, this takes away the fear of the booking. Like from the travel planner, they would know if all this was listed in a listing, they would know when they looked online
Exactly.
through their tool what they were signing up for. And then also from our side, our team would know that this is already discussed with homeowners. So it's not like the reservation salesperson who's working with the travel planner has to be like, oh crap, if I book this reservation, is the homeowner going to want to cancel it? They're going to be pissed about it. Like, no, they would know on both sides. It's like prearranged, right?
Yep.
I mean, I feel like this is probably the crux
Yeah.
of the drama. And it's kind of funny that no one has like,
Figured
I
it
don't know.
out
I feel like
completely.
most issues in business, when I find like problems and I think "God, there must be a way to solve this, it generally comes down to like fear. I swear to God. It's always just because like we're operating out of some way that was like based out of fear in the beginning of when these businesses started and everyone just kept doing it that way. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, vacation
It's
rentals
not
have been
working
around
anymore.
long enough now. We don't need to like operate out of fear of this like stupid, we can move past this, you know? And
Mhm.
it's so many
Mhm.
times that it comes down to that. Okay, and then another thing I had on my notes was like, obviously, I think the answer to this is obvious, but like, is booking a hotel so much more simple than booking a vacation rental from the standpoint of a travel planner? And I'm assuming like, yes, almost always, but I don't know if there's some times when booking a hotel is sort of similar to a vacation rental. Just, I was trying to think of a way to like give more understanding to the vacation rental people who hear this, why it's so different booking a
Yeah.
hotel versus a vacation rental from the travel planner's
Anytime you're
perspective.
getting more than an occupancy of 2,
Mhm,
there's definitely back and forth
yeah.
because it's not always updated in the system and you're gonna have to go back, and sometimes it'll say, I mean, I just did this for someone for, Croatia and Slovenia and Portugal, where I did the search for occupancy of 4.
Mhm,
But I, looking at the description, couldn't tell where how 4 slept in that room.
mhm.
So I will sometimes go to the website, look at the room, like, is there a sofa bed? Is there a rollaway? Like, how is this actually working?
Yeah,
So, I would say anytime there's more than 2 people, there's definitely going to be,
yeah.
there's some times you can go to, like, the Virtuoso site. They have
Mhm.
stuff laid out really
That's what I
well.
was thinking of Virtuoso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Virtuoso has it laid out really well where it can kinda show you, because traditionally in a hotel, a king connects to 2 queens most of the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's the same room type, right?
Yeah.
So you kinda know that. Well, I just did an airport hotel for people on their way to the Bahamas for spring break, and I tried to connect the rooms and they were like, "Well, they can't have 2 queens, they have to have 2 kings connect." I mean, so there's always like, you have to really investigate, most of the time when it's more than 2 people. So
Okay.
it's the back and forth, and
So,
it's like,
like, hotel bookings could be maybe not equally as complicated as booking a vacation rental, but somewhat closer on the spectrum of difficulty when you're booking for a family, even in a hotel.
yes, or
Okay.
like 3,
Okay.
3
And,
people's
like,
tricky.
so I have always heard people say, like, the GDS is, like, I think it's, like, the sort of backbone to the software that, most travel planners are looking at.
Mhm.
And then Virtuoso, and I don't like, this is just me being totally ignorant on this. Is Virtuoso just another, like, GDS, but it's different, or it's, like, a more multi-layered tool like
So they
that?
have, like, very high-end properties, are part of their collection,
Okay.
and then they are getting passed on Virtuoso perks, which are
Okay.
going to be,
So you could have double layered Virtuoso and Fora. Like a Fora travel planner could be booking through Virtuoso, is that right?
so yeah, Virtuoso, or so it could be multiple things. So it could be, you could have, for a reserve, which is, and they're gonna be all different. So I'll go
Yeah.
through and look at all of them to match them for my client.
Okay.
It could be Tablet Plus Pro, it could be
Do
Virtuoso,
these
it
have
could
their own
be,
percentages associated? So, like, if a travel planner booked through Virtuoso, then would it theoretically be, a percentage is paid, however, obviously, like, on a hotel, it's paid out of the hotel and it's not being additional to the room. With a vacation rental, hopefully, it could be similar, but there's that percentage going to Fora, and then is there also a percentage to Virtuoso?
ooh,
Like, I
I
have to
don't know the answer to
assume.
that, but
I
yeah.
think because I know, like, there's, like, Alpine Adventures and, like,
Mhm, mhm.
ski.com, and I know a lot of times the Fora travel planners will book with Abode through ski.com or through Alpine Adventures. So there is then a percentage to Alpine Adventures and a percentage to Fora, and so that can be tricky too.
Yeah, and I don't know how it works with you guys, but oftentimes, like, there's a company I work with a lot in the Caribbean, and they buy like such a large amount that they
Mhm.
get a slightly discounted rate.
Okay.
So then they make up for it that way. So
I
I'm still
see. I see.
and I still make them meet the prices
So
that my
potentially
clients
like
can get online.
the guest would be paying maybe regular price, but
Mhm.
now with that discount that was negotiated, that's making up for some of the guest is paying essentially just like regular full price, but the
Yes.
percentages are worked in because of the discount that was worked in. So you
Exactly.
can look at it from 2 ways.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
but you can choose. And on occasion, you're gonna get, maybe a collection will run a special and, like, maybe it's a core and they said, for suite bookings, you get 20%
Okay.
commissions through July 3rd,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. So they can always change. There's a base, and then in the portal, you'll have multiple options of, like, how you're gonna book it.
I
And
see,
I
I
always go for the
love
best
that.
value
I mean,
usually
I
for my
think
clients.
that's such a good way. Like if we were able to do stuff like
Yeah.
that, if we needed to increase occupancy, we would have levers to pull with offering more commission to travel planners. Because like from my standpoint in luxury, the travel planners obviously have like essentially pre-qualified clients, right? These are
Mhm.
clients that spend a lot on travel.
Mhm.
They're my clients, right? They're going
Yep.
to be they're wealthier people that are going to hopefully take care of the house nicely. They can afford what we're booking, all that stuff. And so to me it's like that can be a big benefit and like worth paying a commission
Yes,
for,
and they
you
usually have
know?
a niche, so they're gonna be booking. I
Right.
actually am jealous because I would love to book more ski vacations,
Yeah.
but the majority of my clients are
Here. Yeah,
mountain
yeah.
based,
Yeah.
so I book a ton of beach vacations. I actually recently just one of my good friends, put something on her mom group for me because they're all East Coast people who come out and ski,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I have these amazing relationships locally that I would love to utilize,
Yeah.
but I have my people are going to Mexico and the
Right.
Caribbean and Europe. So the people you're getting are going to be kind of rinse and repeating, "Oh, I used Abode, and there's this one house that I love in Deer
Yeah.
Valley." And so I think you will get the value out of it, and they're
Yeah.
gonna tell their friend, and we
No,
all
yeah.
talk on a WhatsApp
Well,
group,
and think
so
about like the benefit because then it's like it's not just that we're getting the increase in potential like in leads for reservations, but if we had the ability where we had all this stuff set up and pre-contracted, but then we would be able to go in and pull levers on offering additional commission to the planners, like that would be a way because I don't like to discount.
yeah.
Like I don't like it when we discount stuff because we don't offer things that are like it's not like socks.
You're
You
not in a
you
discount
don't yeah,
business,
you
like,
don't
you're
get
in
like a
luxury.
free night,
Yeah.
okay? Like that's not what we're doing. And so I don't love having discounts, but I do like being able to find ways to incentivize like more attention to the properties that we
Mhm.
have. And so to me, having the access to the lever to pull to offer more commission to the travel planners, like that would be an amazing benefit
Yep.
to like a lot of companies, not just to me. And but that would only happen from like having a contracted relationship, right? Because you really wouldn't be able to say, "Oh, we're offering this," unless you had your listings in there like somewhat consistently.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think all this, see, like I think a lot of this is just a lot of people in the vacation rental industry. I'm assuming I could be wrong. I don't think we get all the nuances to this.
Mhm.
And I also think the travel planners, when they're trying to book vacation rentals and they're finding it annoying, it's like I don't know if they realize like how much we want to make it better, but
Yeah.
we don't currently like have now it sounds like Fora might have just released some tools that Vanessa's gonna show me that might make it easier. But up until now, it's just been like we haven't had ways to do it. Like we want to make it easier for the travel planners, but we don't really know how. And
Well, it's also it's not even an annoyance. I know on my end, and maybe everyone doesn't feel this way. I feel inconvenient. I feel like I don't want to inconvenience someone. Like
I
I
think we
worked with
feel like that
Tilly,
too.
I
Yeah.
called her, and then you with someone in the book, I feel awful because
Right.
I just wasted your time too.
Well, no,
So
but I
it's like
mean
a
that's
funny, and
part
I
of
know
it.
people are always like, "No, this is part of the job."
Yeah.
And I just had like a rundown of my books with one of our higher ups over the phone, and she was like, "One thing I really realize about you is you're not using a lot of DMCs, which is Alpine Adventure Sellers. You're doing
Yes.
it yourself."
Which is better.
And I said, "Yeah, because my people change. I like to have the keys to the castle
Yeah.
where if you said, oh, Vanessa, I need to change my dates or do this, I can go into my system and click, click, click and do it
Yeah.
instead of emailing someone
No, the
back and forth."
DMC, and I'm not trying to hate on DMCs because I do think there's a place,
Mm.
a role for them to play. But my experience is when the DMC is in between the vacation rental company and the travel planner, this is where my guest experience can be really bad because that guest will be then sometimes talking to Fora. Fora will go to the DMC, then they come to me. And by the time I bring those towels, extra towels over, it's so many hours that have
Yeah.
passed. And then the guest is very angry. And when they leave, they might have a bad they feel they had a bad experience with Abode, but I was
Too
playing
many cooks in the
telephone.
kitchen, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I do love a DMC, but that's my hesitation is that
Yeah.
my people are very not they just change their minds a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel bad reaching out, but there's a big place for them because
Yeah.
I will tell you I'll be up at 3 in the morning being like, did my transportation show up for my person
Yeah.
for Rachel in Italy? But when I use a good DMC, I know that they're boots on ground.
Yes.
They have a number
Yes.
there because I don't want you calling me at 3 a.m. being
Right.
like, we're outside on the
Totally.
corner and the ride didn't come.
Right.
So there is that miss when you have too many lines of communication. There needs to be something very clear
Yeah.
and direct.
I feel like it
But
just needs to have like more consistency in
Yeah.
planning on this. And yeah, okay. So I feel like we covered like not all my questions, but I did write way too many questions. And I talked too much. But I feel like Vanessa told me before we started, she hasn't done a podcast before. Don't you feel like this was so much easier than you thought?
I mean, kind of,
Right?
but still scary. I'm
Oh, it's still
like,
scary. I don't know.
I had a stomach before I came.
Oh
I
my
was
God, you're so
nervous.
funny. I feel like it's like
It's easy because
it's
I'm
just
with
like-
you. I think maybe if I was
just
a
a
stranger that I
conversation.
didn't know, it would be scary.
I mean, I guess if we were talking about like something
Or
that
something
was
very serious. Like if
yeah.
you just asked me a technology question, I'm like, I don't have the answer to that.
Okay, but you know what's funny is like we're like saying, well, maybe if it wasn't so serious, but like let's face it, like Abode does what 25 million in revenue a year. Like this is serious.
So cool.
Your
Yeah.
top 100 in Fora, like 22,000 travel planners in less than 2 years, your top 100. Like I don't know if you know how much you're booking a year or if you want to say it, but I guarantee it's a big fucking number. And so to me, like this is serious. You know what I mean? Which is why when I think about this stuff, I'm kind of like, I want to solve these problems. But also it's funny that like I also feel like I can sit on a podcast and talk and it's just like regular. I feel like you can just like chat because I think there are enough people out there. I know there are. Literally I was just in Europe with like, I don't know, it was a conference with like 1,000 people, maybe 1,500. And I have another conference I'm leaving for tomorrow. I think it's more like 500 or 600 at that one. But this is like a topic everyone.
Yeah.
People are very hot to trot on like, how are we going to figure this out? There's a company called LPMS that my friend Near Maiman, have you heard of this? So
Yes.
Maiman Group is a really high-end vacation rental company in LA. It used to be like Near and the Maiman Group and Robin and Heather Cragen who had Moving Mountains. They still have it, Moving Mountains in Colorado. And then us, we were like the luxury trifecta and we were always trying to figure things out. And Near started this concept software called LPMS, which is, he's really attempting to have this distribution to the travel planners through LPMS. And I'm not sure like exactly where that's at yet, although I think it was going pretty well. But to me, it's like there's enough of us talking about this, wanting to move in the direction of having access that like we just have to not stop talking about it, which is why I'm doing a whole season of
I love
episodes
it.
on this topic. So maybe I'll be able to get Vanessa to come back
You're gonna
again.
solve
and we
all
can-
these mysteries.
I don't know
But
about
the
that.
hard part is it's also like technology is always changing.
Right, and
trends are changing.
I'm not a
right?
tech
It's
person. Like I don't know how it's going to work. I just know someone who is a tech
someone
person.
knows how. I'm like,
Yeah.
we got to bring
Someone
that to
can
our
figure
people.
this out. It's not going to be me. And like even when the tech people are talking, I don't even need to be in the room because honestly, like I don't even know what they're
Foreign
talking
language.
about. Yeah. But I just know that it's got to be possible. It
Yes.
just seems like it's like right around the bend. It's just like we're so close and we just need like a few more steps. So I kind of feel like for me, when I want something to get done, then I like to like manifest it. Is that real? I'm not sure. But I feel like when I talk
Yes.
about it, if I just talk about it a lot, I like send energy out into the universe.
And then someone will be like, when I listened to your podcast and you
Well,
made this happen.
it's like you
years
just
ago-
send
Yes.
it out into
Yes.
like
No, I agree.
the what's it called? Like the ether or whatever, right? And then somehow like enough people have the same thought and then the things happen. So hopefully we can make progress. I hope if anyone's listening and you want to contact Vanessa about like, well, first of all, travel planning. If you want like luxury travel planning, like I can vouch. Also, what's your life's too short? Book it. Is that what it is?
Yes. It's
Okay,
kind
don't
of
even make
lame.
a face like that, please.
Well, you know, when you do something, you don't expect it to be something.
Yeah.
I solely did my lame Instagram with my like 300 followers because one of my clients and friends was like, Vanessa, I'm sending you a large number. Like this person's huge, but you need
Right.
to have somewhere so they can see that you're like
Yeah.
a legit person.
Agreed.
It's like the bane of my existence.
Wait,
the
I started
necessary
TikToking.
evil.
Do you even
Instagram? No, girl, I can
I
do so
started
much at once. I'm
TikToking.
like, we're barely surviving over
because
here.
my book's coming out. So I started talking on TikTok like a lunatic. I even did one workout video. Like, don't watch it, anyone. But anyway, what I'm saying is go on Instagram and look up it's life's like LIFES, life's too short, book it, right?
No, I should have done fuck it, book it. but I'm sure someone has that
I mean,
now.
I get it.
The amount of times I get the FIBI
Yeah.
Instagram sent to me.
I like it. Okay, so look that up because you can see some of the stuff that that Vanessa's been booking lately. And then if you want to email her, what's your email address?
It is Vanessa, VANESSA .Cella, CELLA at Fora.travel.
And that's FORA, Fora.travel. So
Not Flora. People are always like, oh, Flora. I'm like,
Not
Noel.
Flora. And so that's one way. And I think for people that are listening to this, most likely are going to be vacation rental people. So if you're a vacation rental company owner, or you work for a vacation rental company, and maybe you haven't worked with travel planners, like it's possible that you're, working in a market where there's not a lot of travel planner interest. It would be worth talking to Vanessa about this, about like, you could tell her what kind of stuff that you have available. And then she might even be able to put you in contact with other travel planners who
Mhm.
have that as their niche, just so you could start having the conversation. Like, again, we have to start somewhere. And so I think more relationships that get formed between vacation rental companies and travel planners to me will be like a benefit to the whole
And
thing.
there's so much room in the space. Like,
Yeah.
I think you get people who are like, "Oh, I'm a this or that." I'm like, "No, they absolutely go hand in hand." And you wanna be able to offer both of the offerings to
Yes.
somebody, right?
Yeah.
I think they both have their time and their place. I'm on
Totally
a
agree.
WhatsApp group, and it's like it's the top 100. We have a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
The pros have a WhatsApp group. So it's great to have information because I can get on there and say, "Oh my gosh, you guys, I just use this company. I love them. Side message me if you want more information."
Or even when like Vanessa has good examples of how she books with property management, vacation rental companies, and a good thing happens. Like to me, it's just good for me to be able to hear stories like that from her, and also like bad stories, so that I know how to not be like the bad character in the room and whatever. And so anyway, if anyone wants more information from Vanessa, you should look her up. We'll put stuff in the show notes. And otherwise, we have 8 more episodes in this season of the Hospitality Break Room. And so we will have 8 more conversations along these lines. Hopefully, I'll be able to have Vanessa come back at least one more time and do another conversation. I know Tilly, who did the first episode in this season with me the other day, she said she would have more conversation on this topic. And then maybe Vanessa can recommend some other people she knows as travel planners that would want to do, because we could even do someone who isn't
Yes.
here, because we can do on the software we use
Virtual,
for the
yep.
podcast, we can do like remote.
I'll get you someone more polished than me. It's been
No,
around for
stop it.
forever. I'll
No,
get you
I
like
like real. I like real. And so to me, I just want to have more like real conversations with
I love
people
it.
in it, because I do think the more of us talking about it, the more of us we're going to make progress. The more progress we'll make like overall. So anyway, thanks for listening to this episode of the Hospitality Break Room, and hopefully next week we'll have some more interesting content on this topic.
Thanks for having me, Rach.
Thanks for listening to the Hospitality Break Room. This season, we're exploring how the vacation rental industry and travel planners can work better together, and we're just getting started. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if you found this conversation valuable, share it with someone in hospitality or travel. We'll see you next time in the break room.